And welcome to tonight's meeting of the Carmel Clay Board Parks and Recreation. Today is Tuesday, January 13th. And Mark, can you take the roll?
Yes. Jonathan Blake.
Present.
Andrew Bradford.
Present.
Jim Garrettson.
Present.
Jen Costunas.
Here.
Katie Mueller. Josh Orwood. John Shapiro.
Present.
Riddy is here. I'm here. And Katie just showed up.
Sorry, guys.
So we have Katie. So we have a quorum, Madam President.
Perfect. Thank you. We will call the meeting to order at 6:03. If everyone could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. You good? Okay. So now we'll go to the public comments. Michael or Curtis, do we have any public comments tonight?
I don't believe we have any members of the public here, Madam President, or Jen, Madam
Thank you.
Vice President. I'm
Thank
sorry.
you. Then we will move on to the election of our park board officers for 2025, the nominating committee. Mark?
Yes, the nominating committee would like to put forth these people for election. Jen Costunas as president, Katie Mueller as vice president, Jonathan Blake as secretary, and myself, Mark Westermeyer, as treasurer. And I make a motion for that as the slate.
At this point, we would need a second.
Second.
And before we vote on this, does anyone have any questions? Seeing none, I will call the question. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain. Okay, that is our new slate of officers for 2026, and we thank everyone for the service. Before we move on, I would like to also thank two people who are in the background, Hal and David, for their service. We do thank you for providing the audio and visuals for our meetings every time, so thank you. And then now, staff reports.
Apologize for that. I guess I can call you, it's appropriate to call you Madam President now, so congratulations. Staff reports are included in your park board packets, and as always, I am happy to answer any questions that you have.
I also would like to make one more announcement under staff reports. We'd like to welcome Andrew Bradford, our newest park board member who is, a trustee appointee. He will be serving a 4-year term, so want to welcome Andrew.
Welcome, Andrew.
Andrew, would you like to take a moment and tell us about yourself and where you're from?
Yeah, pleasure. We are a 10-year resident family of Carmel. Our kids, 7 and 5.5 years old, are in Forestdale Elementary. We live over on the southeast side, about 106th and Gray Road, and have just fallen in love with this community since coming down from Chicago. My partner and I both serve in professional capacities. I run Bradford Consulting Group, and he serves as an architect with Champlin Architecture. So excited to be a part of the growth of this community, right? Wish we were here at the very beginning, but excited to be joining now as we know that things are just going to continue to get better, and while also simultaneously helping to navigate any sort of roadblocks or hiccups that come along the way. So pleasure. Thank you for the trust to continue to steward this incredible organization and this community. Pleasure to be with you.
Thanks and welcome, Andrew. Moving on to our committees, the Finance Committee, Mark.
We have not met.
Okay, thank you. The minutes, our secretary, our new secretary, Jonathan, are you prepared?
I am.
Fantastic, thank you.
Madam President, I move to approve the minutes of the Park Board meeting on December 9, 2025.
Second.
Thank you, Jonathan and Katie. All those in favor of approving the motion, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstain? Nothing? All,
I wasn't here.
okay. Jim's abstaining. Motion carried. Moving on to the financial reports.
I move to accept the consolidated financial report for November 2025 and the Carmel Clay Park and Recreation P&L statements for December 2025.
Second.
I believe John, was that John Shapiro down there?
It was.
Thank you, John Shapiro. All those in favor of Mark's motion?
Aye.
Aye. Any questions for the financial reports? All right, seeing none, this has passed as well. Claims.
I move to approve claim sheet dated January 13th, 2026, and the Carmel Clay Parks and Recreation payroll for December 12th, 2025, and December 26th, 2025.
Second.
Thank you, Mark and Jonathan. Does anyone have any questions regarding the claim sheets or the payroll? Okay, seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Okay, these have passed as well. Monetary gifts, grants, partnerships, and sponsorships for December. Eric?
Thank you. So we had total contributions last month of $675. We had one sponsorship from our continued quarterly sponsorship from Scenthound of $500 for our Monon dog pot stations, and then our $100 anonymous donation. And then we had the other one, the $75, just a little explanation on that. It was for the World Habitat Day tree planting event that we have coming up. There was a 16-year-old's birthday, and as a part of that, they did a small kind of fundraiser for World Habitat Day. And so part of that money, there's more than just $75. This was just the cash that ended up coming in that came directly to the department. There was also some gifts that were given in kind, materials and supplies and things for the event as well. And then some money that went to the foundation, that was donated to the foundation that will eventually come to us as well. So this is just part of the story. So there you go.
Well, that is a fantastic story. Thank you, Eric. Does anyone have a motion?
I move to accept the money as received, and thank you to everyone who was very generous in their donations.
Second.
Thank you, Katie and Jonathan. All those in favor of approving Katie's motion?
Aye.
And we will not have questions on that, I'm assuming. Fantastic. That has passed as well. So now we will move on to the public hearing on award of the public-private agreement with the developer for Bear Creek Park. Michael?
Actually, I'll pass it on to Zach.
Oh, sorry, Zach.
Yes, as a requirement of approving this, you do need to open up to a public hearing. If you can just state the time that it
Okay.
opens and closes, and
So I'll open this to the public hearing at 6:11. If anyone who wishes to come to the podium to make comments, they can come to the podium and make comments. We'll wait momentarily. Okay, seeing no one has come to the podium, we can go ahead and now close the public hearing at 6:12. Michael?
Actually, I was getting ready to jump in for new business and the continuation of why we had the public hearing.
Okay, Go
Very
ahead.
good.
Thank you.
So tonight, we're requesting consideration of the Park Board for adoption of Resolution B 2026-001, selecting the developer in response to the RFPQ under Indiana Code Section 523 for Bear Creek Park. Back in 2025, the Park Board authorized the use of the build, operate, transfer means of development for Bear Creek Park, which was at the recommendation of several of our city council members that were very supportive of this project and ultimately ensured that we received the funding to make this Phase 1 development possible. Back in 10/27/2025, we issued the request for proposals and qualifications and received a total of 4 responses by the due date of November 21st of last year. Back in December 10th of last year, the Park Board also established a committee to evaluate all of the proposals. They actually was the same committee that helped us put together the RFPQ. And after a thorough review of the 4 responses, all of which were very sound and competitive, came up with the recommendation of DLZ and Thieneman for award of the contract. As specified in the proposed resolution, notebook hit the on-off switch. What this would do is it would authorize the director in consultation with legal counsel to negotiate and execute a professional services agreement with the selected developer for a contract sum not to exceed $390,000 plus reimbursable expenses for scoping, completion, and final plans and development of a guaranteed maximum price prior to entering into a formal bid, operate, transfer agreement. The total agreement based on the RFPQ is anticipated to be $7,884,795, which would be funded through the city's 2024 infrastructure bond program. The proposed resolution also grants authority to enter into a professional services agreement with Smith Group, which was the original architects for the master plan, as well as helped get us to schematics. That way, we can ensure, as we're working with the new design and construction team, that we continue to meet the design intent of it. Smith Group would be able to provide the board and department feedback on any proposed potential cost savings or design alterations. Smith Group would not be leading the design. They would just be in a consulting role. We could take their advice or not, but it gives us additional feedback to ensure that Bear Creek Park is consistent with the master plan that was approved by this park board. Did I miss any pertinent issues?
Covered it well.
Very good. This is our first build, operate, transfer, so this is charting new territory for the park board as well as for your staff. So we're looking forward to this project. We have Lori Johnson with DLZ, as well as representatives from both the DLZ and Thieneman Construction that are here. I'm sure they would be happy to address any questions as well. But with that, we recommend approval of this resolution so we can start on this incredible project.
Thank you, Michael. Does anyone have any questions for our team or our visitors?
Michael, what's the timeline on this project?
So part of that will be identified through the scoping services that we're doing with our selected team, presuming Park Board approval tonight. I anticipate once we get to construction documents, it's probably going to be about a 12 to 18-month project. So, in the absolute best of all worlds, maybe the end of next year, but it may go into 2028.
Thank you.
And I did neglect to identify, the review committee did include both Mark Westermeyer and Jonathan Blake. So Park Board was involved in that review process.
Okay, no further questions. We will take a motion.
Madam President, I move that Park Board approve Resolution B 2026-001.
Thanks, Reedy. All those in favor of approving Jonathan's motion, please say aye. Aye. Opposed and abstaining. Motion carries. Thank you, Michael. Moving on to item B, consideration of amendment number 3.
So tonight, we are also requesting the Park Board's consideration of Amendment Number 3 to the contract with Morphe Construction for the White River Greenway North Extension, as well as a concurrent authorization for a memorandum of understanding with Cotter Prairie for reimbursement of the associated expenses. Basically, as you are aware, we've been working very closely with Cotter Prairie as we develop the White River Greenway, the northern section of it, a good portion of which was made possible through an easement granted by Cotter Prairie. In the process of working with Cotter Prairie, of course, we have been coordinating closely to ensure that we minimize the amount of conflict we have between their development project and our greenway as things move forward. And there was a request made by Cotter Prairie if we would consider incorporating within our contract, which is possible within the provisions for change orders for contract with Morphe in their entry area, as well as for detention there. It would fall under our contract, but Cotter Prairie would refund us 100% of the expenses. So it's effective for the Park Board $0 change order. It was just a more cost-effective means and a better way to move forward quickly to minimize disruptions to the trail to implement it through this process. The proposed MOU was drafted by our legal counsel, and the dollar amounts and proposed services were closely reviewed by legal counsel and our owner's representative on this particular project, as well as, of course, discussion with staff. We do give a favorable recommendation for this contract, change order, $257,179, and authorization for the approval of the MOU with Cotter Prairie, which just documents that they will be reimbursing us very promptly. So happy to address any questions the Park Board may have.
Thank you, Michael. Are there any questions? Jim?
I drive up River Road once a week, and I've seen the very nice.
Jim?
Can you turn the microphone on?
Perfect, thank you.
I drive up River Road. That's his fault. I tried that. That doesn't work.
We'll do that. Go ahead for the Milburn.
Okay. I drive up River Road once a week, and I notice the nice new bathroom we built, which looks very naked in what you have there. What's happening to that project?
So in that,
Seems like it's taking a long time.
so a lot of it is in coordination to make sure that we are minimizing the amount of times that we have to mobilize the contractors for that particular project. All of the landscaping and work on that will be completed this spring. Pretty much most of what's left, especially for where the restroom area is and around the parking lot there, is the landscaping services. And obviously, during the winter months, you're just not planting materials. So that's the big component there. Additionally, behind, adjacent to the river, is where the overlook will be. You can see that structure currently, but the finished work for that will also be completed this spring. So
Are we doing that, or is Cotter Prairie?
that is on our property, and that's our project as well. It's part of the project.
And we're not done with that yet?
It'll be done in the spring. So we were hopeful that it was going to be completed this fall before winter set in. There was just a couple items that made that not feasible, so it'll be done this spring.
How big is that project?
It's a $5.5 million project. but also with a lot of moving parts because, again, part of the project was on our property, part of the project was on an easement that we secured at minimal cost from Conner Prairie, and part of the project was in right-of-way owned by the city of Carmel. So we were working with a lot of partners on this one.
How much acreage we talking about?
Acreage, I wouldn't know. The trail itself is roughly, I believe, actually, I think it's about 1.3 miles off the top of my head.
Okay.
Thanks, Michael. Jim? It looks like we have two motions for this amendment number 3. Or do we have any other questions at the other end of the table? No? Okay.
I move to approve amendment number 3 to the contract with Murphy Construction? Morphe Construction, sorry.
Second.
All those in favor of approving motion number 1, please say aye.
Aye.
I move to approve the memorandum of understanding with Conner Prairie, which provides for reimbursement to the department for construction costs associated with amendment number 3, as well as owner's representative fees.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor of approving motion number 2, please say aye. Aye.
Madam President, I'd like to abstain from that vote.
From motion,
Conner Prairie MOU.
okay. We have one abstention from motion number 2. Do we have any other questions before we move on? Okay. Moving on to C, ratification of 2025 general fund. Curtis, I believe this is you.
It is. Thank you, Madam President. Each of you should have an 11 by 17 printout in front of you that I brought with me today. Understanding that our park board packet has its limitations, I wanted you to at least be able to see what it is I'm presenting. My microphone is going crazy. So this is an annual housekeeping item, which is basically ratifying the general fund end-of-year budget line transfers. So each year, the park board does approve a budget that includes numerous line items, which is this. They are broke down into various budget classifications, and the State Board of Accounts requires that at the end of the year, every individual line item finishes in the net positive. So while we make every effort to limit the number of line item transfers that we have to conduct every year, there are circumstances that arise, like switching janitorial services midway through the year, and the new one is a little bit more expensive, that do require us to move funds between the different budget lines. So what you're being asked to approve this evening is the ratified budget reflecting those necessary adjustments to the individual line items. I'm also pleased to report that once again, the department did close the year under budget and returned a little over $342,000 to the city of Carmel. And since 2003, when the city assumed the role of the fiscal agent for the department, CCPR has returned a total of $3,375,766.93 to the city, which represents a 23-year average annual return of $146,772.48. Again, I think that says a lot about who we are as a department and our strong fiscal stewardship. So with that, Board President, I am recommending that the Park Board approve ratification of the 2025 year-end budget line transfers. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. That was a mouthful.
Perfect. Thanks, Curtis. And we do appreciate the department and you and your staff being so diligent with the dollars that we have.
I would actually, if you're wondering why we're giving so much money back this year, in 2024, we were budgeting in 2025 for a couple of things that haven't come online yet, like the White River Greenway North Extension, the Japanese Garden, and then Monon Boulevard Phase 3. Those will come online in 2026, so I don't expect to give back so much money next year.
Yeah, thanks for that extra explanation. That does help. Does anyone have any questions? Mark?
Curtis, will those funds then come back to us normally, or do we have to go through the whole process again for budgeting?
Each year, so the general fund budget is completely appropriated by the city of Carmel. So those dollars that are not used return back to the fiscal body.
Okay, so it's general fund.
Correct, yep.
Thanks.
Curtis, under grounds maintenance, you highlighted the new cleaning service. You've got one other in there that's just other contracted services. I'm curious if you could expand on that a little bit.
So there were, at the end of the year, and you weren't on the park board yet, at the end of the year, the mayor asked us to have some money moved to special projects for the Japanese garden to help get it to completion. And then we had an opportunity to also encumber some funds for our lobbyist services, which is Catalyst. So we moved some funds into other contracted services, which then allows us to continue those efforts through 2026.
Wonderful. Thanks, and great job on putting this together.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Okay. We will need a motion, please.
I move to ratify the 2025 end-of-year budget line transfers as presented.
Second.
Perfect, thank you. All those in favor of the ratification, please say aye.
Aye.
Abstentions? Okay. Motion carries. Now we move on to the last three items in new business. The first one is the Carmel Plan Commission appointment, and I am lucky enough to make that appointment this year. I would like to appoint Jonathan to the Plan Commission appointment from the Park Board. He also served last year and represented the board well. So if you would like to accept that,
you.
we would like to have you do that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam President, also don't forget the Finance Committee
Did I
appointments.
skip over that?
Yep.
Oh, I did. I crossed it off. Sorry.
It was completed in your mind. That's okay.
I did. I just skipped it. Okay, thank you. I was so excited. And then the Finance Committee appointment, also, I get to make that committee appointment as well. In our bylaws, that is the only committee appointment that we have set. And the president will pick the members by default. The treasurer is the chair, which is Mark. And I am also on that committee. And then we would like Katie to serve, as well as Andrew to serve on that committee. And we meet when is needed, but it is noticed. And we also work with Curtis and Michael on timing for those meetings. If you both are all, well, you don't have a choice. I'm sorry. Katie and Andrew, if you both accept the appointment, we would like to have you on that committee as well.
I would love to be on the Finance Committee again.
Perfect. And Andrew?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. And then moving on to the Carmel Clay Parks Foundation liaison, we are lucky to have on our board, we have two of the board members, Mark, who is the president, and then Katie is also on the board, so they can report to us what's going on with our foundation. So that's very exciting there. The last appointment I am honored to make is the Carmel Climate Action Advisory Committee appointment, which if Eric would be so kind to do that again, which I am excited about climate action. I think it's awesome. Eric, would you represent us again?
I would be happy to.
Fantastic. Thank you. That closes our new business for this meeting. And then we will move into old business. I don't see any on the agenda.
Pleased to report we have no old business to bring.
And that's fantastic. So then now we'll move to Zach, our attorney's report. Zach?
Yeah, good evening. Other than items already discussed on tonight's agenda, we have been working with Director Klitzing on some proposed legislation out of the General Assembly that we continue to monitor that may affect the Parks and Rec of Carmel Clay. Nothing further to add.
Thank you for that. We do appreciate all the work that you and Brian do for us. Yep, Jim?
You mentioned to me, I'm sorry. You mentioned to me that Matt Snyder, president of the city council, testified today against a bill that would abolish trustees. Is that just at a certain class of county, or was that all trustees?
It would abolish townships. It would require reorganization with either the county that the township is in or a town. And it's there's certain classifications. So those meeting a certain population requirement, and then those with townships with fire departments.
But it would affect us, because Matt spoke against it.
I can jump in. It would impact Clay Township. The way the legislation is currently drafted, there's kind of two different criteria that are being evaluated for consideration for the consolidation. Number one would be small townships, so population 6,700 or less, which obviously is not Clay Township. The other one would be townships that are at least 80% incorporated within a municipality, so either a city or a town, of which 51% or more of the population of the township is within that incorporated municipality.
Who's pushing this?
From my understanding, it was presented by Representative Schonkweiler, who serves predominantly Noblesville.
Noblesville?
Noblesville. It is something that my understanding is that there is some degree of support within House leadership. I do not have a good gauge as to whether there's any support on the Senate side of the chamber. So that is to be determined. It did make it through the the local government committee today.
That's after Matt's testimony?
Correct.
And it passed?
And it passed.
You know the vote?
I do not know. I think there were several three. Okay. I was out of the room at the time that transpired. Was asked to speak to a different, one of the representatives not on the committee asked to speak to me. It will next go to the House Ways and Means Committee. I do not know off the top of my head when they're meeting, but it'll be within the week, next week. And then if it makes it through House Ways and Means, it will go to the floor for a full vote. The correspondence or discussions I've had, no one really knows how it plays on the floor, if it makes it to the floor of the House. And even less people have an understanding of how it might play in the Senate.
Now, after we went through a similar thing with the city council and the mayor, and we resolved that by this township being able to keep the parks until 42, I believe.
That's what's in the current contract, yes.
Yeah, that'd be my 100th birthday.
We can have a
After
party.
that, these people are interested in eliminating township control.
So as proposed in the current legislation, it would take effect January 1st, 2028. So we wouldn't make it to 42 because the
Which would
state.
have been an election year.
Yeah. Now, we're still early in the legislative process. The idea of township consolidation or elimination has been a topic dating back to at least Governor Daniels. And Governor Daniels was a little bit more popular than the current governor, who does seem to support this.
Is
So
he supporting this?
it is my understanding that this Governor Braun would like to see all townships eliminated. But I don't think he has the sway to make that happen. Personal quarterbacking on my part.
When we reached this agreement with the city council, and the city council agreed to keep this partnership with this board, were there advantages tax-wise or ability to tax that kind of push that on?
So from a big picture perspective, what was adopted through the Fourth Amendment of the interlocal agreement between the city and the township, it ensured that both the city and the township have a funding mechanism to contribute to the park system as they have for the entire almost 35-year history of Carmel Clay Parks and Recreation. It's been incredibly helpful to have two funding partners as opposed to one. It's also been incredibly helpful based on our organization to be a semi-autonomous unit of government that is able to operate very efficiently with the goal of achieving the financial performance that this park board and city council and township board have expected over the years, which is 100% cost recovery for the community center for our recreation programming, which equates to a cost recovery rate that is unheard of in the country, 80% currently for the department as a whole for our operations compared to a national average of 27%. I don't think that happens by accident. It happens because of a high-quality department that is focused on fiscal stewardship, led by a park board that is likewise focused on fiscal stewardship and good planning. And I think the organizational structure that we have has benefited that. So for those reasons, that's why I advocated for the Fourth Amendment and would hope that the General Assembly doesn't undo that history. But ultimately, we also recognize it's a political decision, and we have elected officials in this own community that have differing opinions of that, and we certainly respect those differences. I know Mayor Finkham has been on record of supporting efficiencies that she believes she sees in the consolidation of the township into the city. Certainly, the township trustee has a different opinion, and we work closely with both of those executives. There's also a variance of opinion, with other elected officials as represented by the testimony presented by Council President Snyder. So, more to learn. And sorry, I preempted some of the attorney's report.
Correct me. I thought part of this dealt with the ability of the township to tax
That's
for
correct.
the benefit of the parks, where the city would not have that power.
The city would have that, the city transferred the power to the township through the Fourth Interlocal. The township has demonstrated over its history involved with parks a greater propensity or willingness to utilize that their taxing authority as it pertains to parks. And I think there was some belief that would still hold true. That's why I think the parties were amenable to the Fourth Amendment.
Did Matt bring that out today?
Again, I wasn't able to participate or hear that portion of his testimony, but I don't think he did. But he certainly, from my understanding, demonstrated that in his opinion, this wasn't a good thing for the residents of Carmel and Clay Township.
But it's a Noblesville representative that's pushing this.
She's the one that authored the bill. I do believe that I did have an opportunity to meet with Representative Schonkweiler and provide education as far as how we're organized and the potential benefits or the benefits as I see them for the current organization. This is a bill that I also believe has, based on discussions I had with her as well as other discussions I've been privy to, support from leadership. So I think this is a bill that I think is a passion for Representative Schonkweiler, but also one that she was encouraged to take on by House leadership.
The speaker,
I don't know who, but in leadership.
he represents Fishers, doesn't he?
Correct. I do know that AIM, Accelerate Indiana Municipalities, which is the advocacy arm for cities and towns. Their association has advocated for what is being proposed, and I know, Mayor Fadness from Fishers testified in support of the elimination of townships and was a member of the AIM committee that made this recommendation, so.
So if this were to pass, then the joinder agreement basically between the township and the city would expire in '28?
Currently, as written, January 1, 2028. I have heard that there is a likely amendment that is coming that would push that to the end, at least the end of '28, so 12/31/28, making it the end of the year than the first year. To my knowledge, I don't think that's been voted on as of yet, but that is something that I think they are strongly considering based on feedback they've received. What I do know, as currently written, there would be an organizational board or committee that is established with 2 representatives from the township appointed by the township board, which would be 2 out of 3 of the township board members, and since it's a 3-member board, and that there would be 4 representatives appointed by the city council that would basically work out the details of how that reorganization, the merger of the township into the city would transpire. The mechanisms of that, I can't say I have a complete grasp of as of yet. It appears that they're following, or at least letting some of the mechanisms that are in place that are currently available for consolidation of units of government that I know former Speaker Bosma was involved in passing in legislation that has been used by communities like Zionsville with the merger of 2 of their townships. So those provisions, I think, still provide some degree of guidance or could be used in the interim to create a path forward that makes the most sense if the township is required to reorganize. But again, a lot more details, a lot more legal opinions would be needed before we would know specifically how it works.
Well, it'd affect more than this board. You're talking about abolishing the trustee,
Yes.
so it would affect more than this board.
It would affect everything that the township's involved with. And
And the mayor is for that.
is my yes, she is.
Anybody else in the county for it besides this trustee?
Well, I know the 4 mayors in Hamilton County are in support of it, or at least that's what I've been told.
What?
The 4 mayors in Hamilton County are in support of it.
Are all in support of
Yeah,
it?
so Noblesville, Westfield, Fishers, and Carmel. And it would impact most of the townships
They
that are
just want
involved.
control, or
I can't speak to that. I don't know. I know from the discussions I've had with Mayor Finkham, she believes that there's opportunities for efficiency.
so the parks would just become a department of the city?
It is presumed that would be the case, yes.
And you'd report to the city council for funding and to her for administration?
Effectively, there still would be the opportunity for a park board, 3610-3, which is in Indiana General Park Law, still provides for having a park board, but it would be up to a 6-member park board, 4 appointed by the mayor, 1 potentially continue to be appointed by the school board, and the ability to add an appointment from the libraries, but not a requirement to do
7-member
so.
board.
6.
An even
Anywhere between
number?
4 or 6, yes.
I thought you said 6 and
No,
school, and the,
The way the statute is written, 4 mayoral appointments, and the option of having a school board appointment and the option of having a township board appointment. It would be dictated by city ordinance as to what those appointments are. Yeah, did I say? Oh, excuse me, library.
Michael, Michael, there's also been a second amendment proposed
Okay.
that would, if adopted, it hasn't been considered yet, but if adopted, it would exempt out and state specifically that the statute doesn't apply to a township that participates in a park and recreation department jointly established with a municipality.
Yeah, we advocated for that. It was not introduced at today's, the committee chairman was not interested in hearing it. So we did have a representative on the local government committee that was supportive of that, but decided not to waste his political capital at tonight's or this morning's meeting.
Michael, I believe that you're keeping us all informed via email with your summary on what's going on, correct?
Yeah, I will continue to do so. It likely will be a weekly update. I'm also doing so in my role as IPRA president. So everything I'm doing for the park board also benefits my volunteer position as well. So.
I also want to give him kudos because he's been working his tail off the last couple of days. So not that he doesn't the rest of the year, but last few days he's been earning his salary for sure.
Thank you. So we will, if you don't mind, move on to information items if you are finished with director report.
I am happy to address, like I said, I'll be sending out a report as always. If there's any subsequent questions that any park board member has, feel free to reach out to me and happy to address those for you.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. Plan Commission, Jonathan, do you have any updates for us?
Yeah, just a couple brief updates. One, we're continuing to review the Illinois Street Townhomes. This is a PUD amendment or PUD rezoning. It did move out of committee last week with no recommendation. So it will go back to the full Plan Commission next week, a week from today. We did also move forward with amendments to the greenhouse cottages and the Restoracy of Carmel, which is over on Greenhouse Way and City Center Drive. So both of those are moving forward. And then I understand that the comp plan amendments for the small area plans for US 31 and I just lost it. Home
Place.
Sorry. Where we're sitting right now are still in Land Use Committee with the City Council.
Thank you for that. School Board, John Shapiro.
No updates, other than what I shared earlier. School Board will be reorganizing later this month, so you may or may not see me in February, depending on who the new school board representative, it may be me as the school board representative, but it may not be me. So the school board typically reorganizes at its first meeting in January, but we have another pressing item to do at tomorrow's meeting, so we're kicking that can down the road to the last meeting in January. So I may be here in February, or you may have somebody else from the school board, but we'll make sure you have a good school board member to carry on the great partnership we have with the Parks Department.
Yeah, no bad school board members.
I think they're all high quality, but thank you. And then last, Climate Action Committee, Eric?
No updates. Our next meeting is on the 27th, and it'll actually be held at the library. They've allowed us some space over there to hold our meetings moving forward for right now, so it'll be held there instead of City Hall. So.
Awesome. And then, sorry, second page. Parks Foundation. Mark?
We just had our organizational meeting in December and went through updated plans. Had a brief meeting with Carrie last week to talk about some fundraising things that the foundation is partnering with. And as we get more information developed on that, we'll pass it on to the whole board.
Fantastic, thank you. And you're now the president. Is that my understanding
That's
is
correct.
correct? Awesome. Good things to happen. And then we'll have park board comments and/or discussion. Anyone?
Madam President, I do have one thing, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
During the staff reports, I did forget to mention that the quarterly contract log is included, so please review it. If you have any conflicts, let us know, and we do have a process for providing that information to the park board or disclosing that information.
Yeah, and for the newer members, if you don't know what that means, please get with Curtis after the meeting. Okay. Park board comments and/or discussion. Anyone have any items? Now is the time. Okay. My only item is Jonah Shapiro. If we don't see you, we thank you for your service. If we do see you, we'll be blessed.
You're always welcome to come to a school board meeting,
Okay.
Wednesday nights, 6 o'clock.
Awesome. If there are no other comments and/or discussion, I will take a motion for adjournment, please.
So moved.
In a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Okay, motion is carried, and we are adjourned at 6:53. Thank you.